What musicals are coming to film? What's in development? And will we be watching these premieres from home or in a movie theater? We have all the info coming your way on Innovative Theatrics. Hey everybody, welcome back. This topic has been something that I've been looking forward to discussing. I mean, Broadway being closed for over a year, producers are moving all of their bets to film. Disney Plus has already announced that all of their projects in development within their assets are no longer being set for just the big box office release, but they might be going directly to consumers through Disney Plus. Even Paramount Pictures is joining the lineup with Paramount Plus. Does this mean that we could see our favorite musicals filmed from our couch? Let's dive in. Okay, so In the Heights was fully filmed, edited, and ready to hit theaters on June 26, 2020. This would, without a doubt, be the perfect summer flick. The release was delayed due to the COVID-19 pandemic, hoping for an in-theater release the following summer. Warner Bros. Studios announced the film would be released in theaters and on HBO Max June 18, 2021. The classic musical and cherished film West Side Story is getting a reboot. The film, directed by Steven Spielberg, was set to open in theaters December 2020, just in time for the Christmas season. The film's distributor announced a new release date of December 2021. I predict this release date will remain despite the pandemic's progress. Everybody's Talking About Jamie is a West End hit based on a true story about a high school boy with a dream to become a drag queen. Jamie overcomes homophobic rhetoric from his peers, while also dealing with a broken home and acceptance from his father. There was a filmed version of the original London cast, which premiered in US theaters for a limited time in 2018. Now the film adaptation has been delayed due to the pandemic. Still no word yet on when or how the film will get to us, but with high energy and a pop score, this is one feature that you can't miss. I also noticed that the distributor for this movie is Fox 20th Century, which is owned by Disney now, so will we see this film on Disney Plus? Who knows? Currently in development is Dear Evan Hansen, which hit it big on Broadway, and now is headed for the big screen, starring Ben Platt in the title role and produced by his father, Mark Platt. Evan is a high school teen determined to win the heart of Zoe Murphy. When Zoe's brother Connor commits suicide, Evan poses as Connor's best friend until Evan realizes his small lie. It didn't bring him closer to Zoe, but in fact, it further burdened the grief on his family. According to Ben Platt, filming began in August. The Universal Pictures film is still in production, and there's still no timeline yet on the release. Get this, the off-Broadway musical Tick, Tick, Boom is getting a film adaptation. The show was penned by Jonathan Larson, who wrote the musical Rent. The off-Broadway play was produced after his death and written as an autobiography about an aspiring composer. The music uses songs written for the show as well as songs cut from Rent, which is pretty cool. In 2014, Tick, Tick, Boom was part of the New York City Center's Encore series, starring Lin-Manuel Miranda as John. Miranda now takes the helm as director for the Netflix film adaptation. Walt Disney Pictures announced the reimagined Little Mermaid to much controversy after announcing the casting of Halle Bailey as Ariel. Rob Marshall directs the live-action musical, and Alan Menken will return as the composer, alongside Lin-Manuel Miranda. They seem to really like him over at Disney, using him a lot, as the lyricist for this version. Alan Menken was quoted as saying they have 4 or 5 new songs, but it will still include the iconic Part of Your World. There's been no announcement on distribution, however, it's possible the film will be released on Disney Plus, as well as in theaters, given the Walt Disney Company's current trend. Cyrano is the musical version of the famous play Cyrano de Bergerac. The story follows a long-nosed hero who is plagued by his appearance, determined to prove his worth beyond his looks. This film is being distributed by MGM and does not have a release date. Matilda hit the Broadway stage in 2013. Ever since, the show has built a massive fan base, so it makes sense for this film adaptation. According to sources, the film is currently in pre-production and produced by Netflix. Last month, it was announced that Emma Thompson has signed on to play the child-hating principal, Miss Trunchbull. Since the film is still in pre-production, there's not a whole lot that we know about this film, but I'm sure that we'll get more information in the coming months. 13, the musical, gave Ariana Grande her start on Broadway. The Jason Robert Brown musical is about Evan navigating love, social status, and parents in the age of adolescence. The film is produced by Netflix, which means that they're trying to step up their musical theater game. And if you want to help me step up my YouTube game by offering more content, go ahead and click the like button. Bear, a pop opera, is a coming-of-age rock opera about two boys navigating their sexual identity while at a Christian boarding school. The show got its start with the Los Angeles production in 2000, but was given a drastic change to script and score when it made its off-Broadway debut in 2012. No word on which version of the show we'll be getting in the film. Be More Chill began its Broadway run with a massive fan base due to the popular off-Broadway cast recording. The 350 million streams couldn't save this Broadway production from closing after 7 months. The film adaptation was announced in 2018. Beautiful, the Carole King musical, is produced by Sony Pictures. This musical reveals the early life and the career of Carole King, using her songbook. The film is produced by Tom Hanks, among others. Considering the success of the Broadway run, I'm sure that the film will hit it great among the intended demographic. Oprah returns as the producer for The Color Purple. The musical is based off of the 1982 novel and the 1985 film. The Color Purple was produced on Broadway in 2005 and later returned for a 2015 Broadway revival. Blitz Bazawule directs the film adaptation, which is produced by Warner Bros. Pictures. Follies is the Stephen Sondheim musical about Ziegfeld Folly performers returning to the theater to relive the glory days and dredge up the past. The original production was no financial success, but it was considered an artistic success. The film will be directed by Dominic Cook and is produced by BBC Films. Guys and Dolls is getting a reboot. The Frank Lesser Tony Award-winning musical is making its way back to theaters. The last we heard about this was in 2019, and all we know so far is that TriStar Pictures is going to be producing the film. Gypsy, the classic musical about an overbearing stage mother, has made its mark with leading ladies such as Ethel Merman, Bernadette Peters, as well as the filmed version starring Bette Midler. And who can forget the infamous Patti LuPone?
Stop taking pictures!
Amy Sherman Palladino, known for her work on Gilmore Girls and The Marvelous Miss Maisel, is tapped as director. While there's still no official word on who will play Mama Rose, I'm sure they're going to pick somebody absolutely fabulous. Jekyll and Hyde, the story of a mad scientist, might make its way to the big screen. The Frank Wildhorn musical recently made its Broadway revival, starring Constantine Morales. No word yet on who is to direct this piece, but we're excited to see if this project keeps on going. And we have new word that Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat might get a reboot. This Andrew Lloyd Webber classic did make its way to the big screen, starring Donny Osmond. Now, the production company is currently Styx, The Really Useful Goop, and Rocket Pictures. Still no word on a director yet, but we'll see if this musical still continues. It looks like King and I is getting a reboot as well. As of February 12th, 2021, we hear that Paramount Pictures is taking the lead in the production. We really hope to see this Richard Rodgers and Oscar Hammerstein classic make its way back to the big screen. Get ready, because Little Shop of Horrors, the man-eating plant from outer space, looks like it's going to be making its way back into theaters. Mark Platt Productions and Warner Brothers produce this classic horror musical film. This musical, actually, was a product of Howard Ashman and Alan Menken's musical genius. It's made its debut off-Broadway and then slowly made its way to Broadway. We're so excited to see this work. The last update we have was from 2016, but we're crossing our fingers and hoping that this production is still in the works. Lysistrata Jones is making its way to the big screen. Oh, I love this musical so much. Okay, so a lot of you might not know about this. It only lasted on Broadway for, I think, about a month, but I absolutely love this production. It is written by Douglas Carter Beane. It originally starred Patty Murin, who you might know as Anna from Frozen, on Broadway. This story is a classic tale based off of the play Lysistrata, and it's about a bunch of Trojan women who are tired of the war going on, so they decide to give it up until the men decide to stop fighting. In this classic take, it's about women who are in college and want their boyfriends to, well, win a basketball game. We mentioned in our previous video, Mean Girls is set to hit the big screen. This production is going to be produced by Paramount Pictures. It is written by Tina Fey and Jeff Richman. We're excited to see this musical adaptation. No word yet on casting, but with big names such as Tina Fey and a rock star title like Mean Girls, no doubt this is going to make it through the pandemic. Memphis, the Tony Award-winning musical about a black female singer and her white producer. As of right now, we have no word on who is to direct or who is to be cast in this film. The last update that we actually heard about it was in 2012. We're really hoping that it makes its way back because this is a story that needs to be told. Merrily We Roll Along is a Stephen Sondheim musical, and get this, it's going to be produced by Blumhouse. If you don't know, Blumhouse is really famous for their horror movies, so this is quite a shocker for me. I'm excited to see how this turns out. As of right now, we have Ben Platt cast in the show. Excited to see what new things we hear from this. A last update from this was in 2019, so who knows if this is still going on. But I'm very interested to see Blumhouse take on this musical. Miss Saigon might make its way to theaters. Set in Saigon, Vietnam, this musical is going to be produced by Cameron McIntosh and Working Title Films. The last we heard, Danny Boyle was set to direct this musical. Again, our last time we heard about anything about this was in 2016, so we don't know if there's been any headway on this, but we might as well report that it's in the works. Once on This Island hit it really big as a revival recently on Broadway. I absolutely love this production. Wanyeri Kahu is set to direct this production. This production is actually going to be produced by Walt Disney Studios and Mark Platt Productions. This Lynn Ahrens and Stephen Flaherty musical is a fantastic look at life on the Caribbean. According to the Disney Company, this musical is set to premiere on Disney+, so we're really excited to see this. Oliver is yet another musical that is set to produce by the Walt Disney Studios, also Cube Vision and Mark Platt Productions. This remake of the classic movie and musical will be directed by Thomas Kail, who, well, directed Hamilton on Broadway, which is really cool. Ice Cube was supposed to be starring as Fagin. The last we heard about this was in 2018, so let's get to producing this, Disney. Pippin, the musical that Stephen Schwartz wrote when he was only 21 years old, makes its way back to theaters. Storyline Entertainment is to produce this. So far, we have no director and no cast attached to this. Originally, this was produced by the Weinstein Company, but with recent allegations, I'm sure that the production is in limbo right now, so who knows when, where, or how we are going to see this musical. Porgy and Bess was announced in 2020 to make its screen debut. This MGM and Winkler Films production is going to be directed by Dee Rees. I think that this is the perfect time for this musical to come out, so really can't wait to see this classic Gershwin musical. The Shags is a musical about a 1969 all-female rock group that released one album called The Philosophy of the World. And then they instantly vanished from sight. This musical was originally produced by Playwrights Horizon and now makes its way to the big screen. In Cahoots is the production company, and in 2018 we heard that Elsie Fisher was set to star in the film. Spamalot, based off of the film, is written by Eric Idle and is set to be directed by Casey Nicholaw. This musical is produced by Paramount Pictures, which means that hey, maybe we might see it on Paramount Plus soon. South Pacific is set to make its return to the big screen. This musical will be directed by Michael Mayer, who has directed such hits as Thurla Mater Millie and Hedwig and the Angry Inch on Broadway. This is going to be produced by Chicago Films, and as of right now, we've got Hugh Jackman, Justin Timberlake, and Michelle Williams set to star in this film. Spring Awakening was announced all the way back in 2016. Not sure if this is still happening, but thought we might as well report on it. This Steven Sater musical and Duncan Sheik musical performed on Broadway and also got a revival. The production company is Playtone. Still no word yet on a director or cast. In 2019, we heard that Sunset Boulevard was going to be making its way to the big screen, with Rob Ashford to direct and Glenn Close to be starring in the film. Better Neat Than Ever is a novel by Tim Federle about a 13-year-old boy who runs away from home to audition for E.T. the Musical on Broadway. Federley also wrote High School Musical: The Musical, the series. A recent casting call for the project noted Walt Disney Pictures would produce the musical adaptation. There are 3 novels, so this could be a great series rather than a feature film. Also announced this month was the filming of Come From Away. This film will not be an adaptation, but a recording of the Broadway production. The show is set to film on stage in March 2021. The producers say they expect a release over the summer. Alright, and we're gonna close out with Wicked the Musical. The musical premiered on Broadway in 2003 and hit it big on Broadway. Although it did not win the Tony Award for Best Musical, it got beat out by Avenue Q, it still remains on Broadway to this day. The Stephen Schwartz and Winnie Haselman musical is set to be produced by Mark Platt Productions and Universal Pictures, who also actually produced the Broadway version of the show. Producers recently announced that the director has changed to John M. Chu, the director of Crazy Rich Asians. We're so excited to see Elphaba and Glinda battle it out on the big screen. Can't wait for this to happen. Please help this channel out by giving us a like and subscribe for your weekly fix of Broadway. I'm Steven for Innovative Theatrics, and I'll see you real soon.